Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Do Some Work. So, I'm a security guard in a store. One of the big things about my position is that I don't work for the store itself. I work for the security division in the company. That means that I have my own manager who's separate from and outranks any store manager. Retail is an underpaid industry. This goes for the store managers as well. This also means that a large portion of the people who accept becoming a manager do so because they are okay with a pay cut as long as they get to boss people around. This also means that store managers become angry and confused when they find out that they can't order me around, as they are literally not my boss. After a month or two, we usually come to an unspoken agreement. Life is a lot easier if we all get along. This brings me to now. We got a new store and deputy manager a couple of months back, and they were the same way. First, they wanted me to work on the tills so they could save money on staff, which I told them is not happening. Then they wanted me to help them out on the shop floor. Now, I do help out, usually with lifting heavy items or helping out customers, but that's part of the whole making each other's life easier part, not because I have to. Both the managers didn't really seem to understand this. They wanted me to move an entire aisle of furniture, which they could do themselves. I helped with a few, but my back was hurting at the time, so I said I couldn't do more. The deputy manager then told me that maybe if I do some work, my back would stop hurting. I then later found out that the store manager also reported me to my manager for not moving the aisle of furniture. My manager said what I said, not my job, do it yourself. This really set me off, but I took it to heart. You see, both managers didn't know that I knew they were stealing. As far as I was concerned, the company was screwing all of us, so as long as they were only taking a small amount, like an energy drink or a bit of food, I didn't care. But since they wanted me to do some work, I did. I spent the next couple of days going through the last month of CCTV, burning off discs of any footage of them stealing and meticulously making records of who, when, what and where. Their face when my manager and their boss, the area manager, came in and said that they need a private meeting with them over some security concerns was absolutely beautiful. I don't know what was said in the meeting or decided on. It's only a couple of days ago, and when it's on a store manager level, it needs to go through multiple reviews and meetings. But they are both suddenly a lot nicer to me. The next story is called Figure It Out. I work in retail. I've been there for approximately 8 months. About 5 months in, the store got a new assistant manager. We'll call him Chuck. Now, Chuck is generally a nice guy, as long as you're not shirking your duties. Yes, he really does say that. He generally laughs at jokes, makes a few of his own, and is overall a nice guy most of the time. The only problem I have with him is his management style. The other managers in the store generally try to encourage, teach and demonstrate. Chuck, by contrast, likes to poke fun, humiliate or discourage. For example, the store manager, if he sees you struggling, will show you a quicker, more efficient way of doing your job. Then he leaves you to either do it that way or the way you were doing it. Most people are grateful for the guidance and change how they do their job. Chuck, meanwhile, will say things like, "The industry standard is X stock per minute, why aren't you doing that?" Or, "My grandmother could do this job faster than you, and she's dead." He always laughs after saying whatever he says, and I honestly think he thinks he's ribbing in good nature. However, anyone seeing our faces when he's managing would be able to tell we don't appreciate it. I usually work outside, gathering shopping carts. However, Chuck asked me to do some cleaning inside after I finished topping up the carts. Now, what he asked me to clean was something I had never cleaned before, and after only a few minutes I couldn't figure out how to disassemble the item in question to clean it. So I walked back over to Chuck and asked him to show me how I was supposed to disassemble the unit, since I didn't want to damage it due to ignorance. This is when he uttered one of his iconic lines. "Pretend I got hit by a bus and figure it out yourself." This is a line he usually uses when he's busy talking to someone else. He's not talking to anyone. He was walking somewhere. He wasn't on the phone, he wasn't moving product, he was just on his way somewhere. And the unit I was supposed to be cleaning was just 10 feet away around a corner. It would have taken him maybe 30 to 45 seconds to walk over and show me the proper procedure, but he just didn't have the time for whatever reason. Well, he told me to figure it out myself. So I did. I walked into the back room, found a phone on the wall and pushed the button for the store PA system. Would a senior employee or manager who does not answer sincere junior employee questions with, "Pretend I got hit by a bus and figure it out yourself. Please report to the meat department for junior employee assistance. Thank you." I walked out of the back room and Chuck is just staring at me. He doesn't look angry or disappointed or even upset. He's just straight shocked, jaw on the floor. As I walked past him, I said, "Got it figured out, boss. Thanks." In the end, I got a verbal warning for frivolous use of the PA system, but it was so worth it just to get one over on him. My solution did indeed work. Jerry, the meat department manager, came out of the back room and showed me how to disassemble the grates. He was also trying his best not to giggle like a schoolgirl in front of Chuck. And I don't have a contract renewal to worry about. The shop is unionized. I may not technically even have a write-up soon. They are contesting it with corporate, since I did, in fact, do as I was instructed. The third story is called Professional Clothing. This was something my father did when he was in high school in the 70s. In his school's machine shop, it was blistering hot between the lack of ventilation, summer heat, student bodies and running machines. A friend of his showed up to class one day in shorts and got suspended for it. Shorts were allowed in the rest of the school, so the students were surprised and tried to argue the point. The reason given was not because it was considered a safety concern of any kind, but because students were required to wear professional clothing when in the machine shop. My dad didn't like that his buddy got suspended for such an arbitrary reason. So he concocted a plan with the other boys in his class and as many of the other boys in the school as he could. After class that day, they all went to the local costume shop and rented out every kilt the store had. This was enough for every guy in his class, plus a few others, as the town had a fairly large contingent of residents with Scottish ancestry. When they showed up to class the next day, the machine shop teacher blew a fuse and brought the principal to the class, because there wouldn't be enough room for all of them in the office. They'd of course been wearing the kilts all day, so everyone knew something was up. So when the word got around that the principal was going to the machine shop, a few other teachers stopped by. The principal demanded an explanation of why they had all shown to class in skirts. My father took the lead and replied that they aren't skirts, they are kilts, sir. "Why are you wearing them?" the sweating principal asked. "As you can tell, Mr. Principal, it's very hot in this classroom. And as you also know, my friend got suspended for wearing shorts yesterday because he was required to wear professional clothing when in the machine shop. It wasn't specified which country's professional clothing, so we went with Scotland." The teachers watching had a good laugh at this. The students struggled or failed to keep grins hidden. And the principal and machine teacher turned red. Whether the heat, embarrassment or rage was unclear. After that, students were allowed to wear shorts in the machine shop. The last story is called Don't Bother. I drive Uber in the Dallas area. Sometimes I want to take a few trips but don't want to deal with traffic, so I will head out to the boonies, usually about 60 miles north of Dallas, to a little town of Gainesville in Texas. It is right up against the Oklahoma border, and on the other side is the huge Winstar Casino. Most times I get there, I see only one other Uber in the area, so there may not be much business, but with so few cars. The other day I got up there, logged onto the app and immediately got a ride request. It was even further out into the boonies. You could almost say halfway to East Jesus, Texas. It was 15 miles away with a 25 minutes ETA. I accepted it because I know how hard it is to get an Uber there. About 15 seconds after I accepted, the rider calls me and starts a rant. "I've been waiting nearly 2 hours for one of you to get off your lazy butts and take care of the riders. The app says you won't be here for nearly 30 minutes. Yes, that's what my app says too. 25 minutes actually. Unacceptable, you need to floor it and get here, idiot." I remained calm, cool and collected, but told him I will get there as quickly, safely and legally as I can. If that means 25 minutes, it's 25 minutes. He really went off and said, "Listen, if you don't get here in 15 minutes, don't even bother." I simply switched to the app with him on the phone and hit cancel, and under reason I put add customer request. He started getting all panicky and he was all, "Did you cancel me? I need to get somewhere." Before I hung up, I reminded him of what he said about if I'm not there in 15 minutes. Nobody can say I don't accommodate my riders. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories in today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and would like to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.